I know I don't understand your experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have never had to live it.
Come on now.
I can sympathize, and I can recognize when things are wrong.
We sisters and brothers here. Talk.
For instance, if a black man or woman should never be afraid for their life, for getting pulled over for speeding.
Come on now. Come on.
But I have never lived in that fear.
Come on now.
Black lives matter because black people are not seen as equals by white people. We have barely done anything to get rid of systemic racism.
With the light that I have now, as a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve.
Hello good people, welcome to African Commentary. Here we learn and grow every day. If you are new here, kindly consider subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. I will really appreciate. So in today's video we are going to discuss how many white people are coming out to speak up for black people. You know, for the longest time white people have always been racist to black people. They have marginalized the black community for a very long time, and I'm very glad and happy to hear that most, if not all, some white men, white women are coming out to speak on the oppression which black community faces. And this is making me realize that, you know what, we are heading somewhere as a world. We are heading somewhere because there is hope in a brighter future for black people, whereby we are no longer marginalized and we are treated equally like white people. So without speaking much, let's watch the videos and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end. Also let me know, what do you think about this whole topic? I would really appreciate.
Black lives matter because black people are not seen as equals by white people. We have barely done anything to get rid of systemic racism. Black people are targeted more than white people. They are arrested at higher rates. Their sentences are longer than white people for similar crimes. Black people's health care is neglected. Black people are not taken as seriously when they show up with complaints about their health, costing the lives of many. The value of homes in black neighborhoods are less than in white neighborhoods. Just regular racism where an employer is looking for somebody to hire and they hear a name that sounds black. They don't want to give that person the time of day. They're racist. They don't want that person to succeed. Black people are still discriminated against for how they choose to wear their hair, which is normal in their culture, but in America, it's seen as something negative. Braids and locks, hair bonnets and do-rags. I have first-handedly, if that's a word, I've seen people firsthand say that is ghetto. Why do black people wear that? That's so ghetto. Without even understanding the purpose of these things or understanding the differences in our hair types, understand why that was something that was created to begin with. That was not created because somebody wants to look ghetto or because of the way somebody acts. It's created because of their hair types, to protect their hair types. So much discrimination in that area. White people, I want you to picture this. Pretend you are black. Pretend that you were going a little bit over the speed limit and you got pulled over by a cop. Tell me that you wouldn't be scared that they're gonna want to search your car, that they're gonna want to target you, that they're gonna hurt you, even though all you've done is go a little bit over the speed limit. Tell me that you wouldn't be afraid that they are going to target you. I seriously want you to put yourself in their shoes. I want you to just get a little bit of empathy just for a moment and just picture that. I want you to picture yourself as a black person walking into a store. I want you to think, are white people gonna have their eyes on me? Or people of a different race, are they gonna have their eyes on me and think that I'm stealing? Am I gonna be extra careful to make sure that they know that I'm not doing that? I want you to just try to picture different scenarios in your life where you are walking around as a black person and where you are not thinking about what white people are thinking about you, because that's not something that can happen. Because white people will always judge black people. If you walk on the street and as a white person and a black person is walking towards you, are you going out of your way to avoid being close to them because you think that they're gonna do something to you? I want you to think about all the times where you have assumed the worst about a black person. Now picture that your skin was that color, that you looked like them for a moment. Think about how you would feel. Do not tell me that you wouldn't worry, that you wouldn't think you're being judged. Because if you're saying that, then you are truly not imagining what it's like.
The Black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the Black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to Black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the Black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support Black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to Black-led organizations. Financially support Black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the Black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify Black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the Black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step.
As white people, is our deepest fear that we are inadequate? Or is our deepest fear that Black excellence is powerful beyond measure? It is their light, not their darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who are they to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are they not to be? Look honestly, and you will see how they demonstrate love as a reflection of our unwarranted hate. Our playing God does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about positioning ourselves and controlling the narrative so that Black and brown folks feel insecure around us. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of the Spirit that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in all of us, no matter what your skin tone is. And as we let our own light shine, by atoning for and repairing the harm of our ways, as we learn to serve and see the true greatness of Aboriginal and Indigenous cultures and human beings around us, we unconsciously give white people around the planet the permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. From this point, we can build a new world that is connected to the planet and each other. Together, humanity is achievable.
I know I don't understand your experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have never had to live it.
Come on now.
I can sympathize, and I can recognize when
Talk,
things
sister,
are
talk.
wrong.
We sisters and brothers here. Talk.
For instance, if a Black man or woman should never be afraid for their life for getting pulled over for speeding.
Come on now. Come on.
But I have never lived in that fear.
Come on now. Come on.
No black man or woman should ever be reluctant to walk outside for fear of racial profiling.
Tell it, sister, tell it.
But I have never been racially profiled.
That's right. Come on now.
No black man or woman should ever expect to go to jail in their lifetime because of the color of their skin.
Come on now.
But I have never lived in that expectancy.
That's good.
And this is why I don't believe in the phrase, I don't see color.
That's right.
One, to say you don't see color
on now.
is a lie.
Come on now.
We're different. We can all see that. But two, and way more importantly, to deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Come on. Yeah.
I'm going to say that again because I think it's worth repeating. To deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next point. To deny the differences in our color is to promote ignorance.
Tell it, sister.
Ignorance is the reason that systemic racism and oppression is allowed to exist in this country.
Tell it, sister.
That's good.
So why am I here? Why am I up here speaking?
Come on now.
Tell them, sister.
I'm going to talk on about three things. One of those is change, the other is ignorance, and one is discomfort. I'll get there.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Broadly speaking, why am I here? Because I want change. But let me speak on that for a second. Because I think a lot of people want change.
Yes.
I think a lot of people say they want change, but let me clarify. I think a lot of white people think they want change.
Come on.
But here's the thing about that. In order for there to be a true and genuine change, for you, for the black community, for people of color, there has to be an equal and requited amount of change for white privilege.
Come on now.
And that is something that white people don't want to think about. They don't want to admit that. White people don't want to acknowledge the head start we have in life just for being born this color.
Tell it all. You need it all now.
You know what? That is willful ignorance.
Put it on front line.
Willful ignorance is what allows oppression to continue in this country.
Together we stand. That's it.
So I'm going to talk on ignorance for a second. I think one of the biggest things that allows ignorance to continue is our education system.
There it is, baby.
Ma'am,
Get everything.
our education system.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I mean by that is our education is a white man's education.
It is.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna
Yes,
call it.
ma'am.
It is a white man's history.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell it. She
Why does that matter? Again, like I said, I can recognize when something is wrong. And that is wrong. Why? Because when you tell that history, the history that excludes black history and black culture and the black experience, you allow white people to think that nothing is wrong.
Tell it, sister.
And when that happens, you allow white people to think, well, it was bad back then, but it's not bad now. Hell no.
That's right.
It's bad now. In fact, some might say it's worse because this is systemic oppression.
That's right.
This is institutional oppression. This is oppression that is not overt, but it is just as powerful, and we are able to hide it.
God Almighty. That's it.
And I have more to say. If you want to hear all of it, please come out Saturday.
We'll be there.
Thank you. We appreciate it. But just know the reason I'm here is because I stand by you. I support you. I love each and every one of you out here. We are brothers and sisters to the day we die. And this is not my time to have my voice heard, but I will use my voice for you. I promise.
I'm just gonna say it, right? If more people, more white people would stand up against racism, we could probably get it to damn near end, y'all. I'll stand up for it. I know racism isn't right, but I need more white people to jump on this train to help me take a stand against racism. There are white people out here, y'all, that's got people thinking that we are all racist when that is not what's going on. So we have got to put a message out to take a stand against racism. Like, I will start it off. I don't care. I will stand alone in it if I have to. But if you're a white person and you're with me on this, help me push the content out. There's only one way to do this, and it comes with just being in unison. That's the only way. There is power in numbers, y'all. I don't care if you're black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, whatever it is that your race, ethnicity is. You don't have to be white for me to like you. And everybody else that feels this way, I need you to get on this train right now.
Oh, I do think that white people are absolutely jealous of black people, specifically with the community, and also with like fashion and music and everything else that is appropriated. But by design of what whiteness is, it inherently lacks community. And I think we're absolutely jealous of that. And I've heard biracial people say that they do see that difference in their own families. Because in addition to European cultures being more individualistic than cultures from Africa, South America, and indigenous North American cultures, the invention of whiteness in America erased a lot of ties to actual culture. So when I say like white people, black community, I'm not talking about like Polish people or German people or Irish people. As I explained in my book, I just wrote the intro and I'm working on the conclusion today. Y'all keep me in your prayers. In the course of human history, white is a relatively new term. As we discussed in the introduction to this book, white is a North American term emerging from the 1600s as a term to justify the enslavement of Africans and squelch revolts from poor Europeans and indentured servants. Before this term, Europeans would identify with their nationalities. The Irish, Italians, Germans, French are all very different cultures. Thus, there is not the same communal tie to whiteness as there is for people from other communities. Further, since white was created to be a divider, a separator, it is not a happy identity. It is not something people want to admit they relate to. It doesn't have a rich, healthy history. Speaking as a white American who has conducted national level research on white Americans, we tend to say things like we have German, Irish, Italian, etc. ancestry, even if we have never been to those places. This is because all white Americans have ties to immigration, and because these identities are actual cultures, they do not have roots only in oppression. Now, we know who started colonization, right? So this is the book I'm trying to finish by Monday and send to the editor. There's a free chapter in my bio if you're interested on one of the unwritten rules of work. The book is predominantly about class, but I talk about 3 other identities that you can't talk about class without talking about these other identities, and race is absolutely one of them.
You know, for the longest time, black people's excellence, black people's, like anything to do with black people has always been looked down upon. White supremacy has been winning over many years. When I say winning is when I mean that white people have always seen themselves to be up there and look down upon black people for the longest time, since time immemorial. But you know, now we are in 2025, a new era whereby we have humanity in some of these white people. Of course, we still have those white people who are like, you know what, I'm not going to associate myself with black people. Black people are evil, they are devils, all bad things are related to black people just because of color. I have always wondered for the longest time, what did black community do to the white community that they hate us that much, that they're so racist to black people that much? What is wrong? Instead, we should be the ones to be mad to white people because of what their ancestors did to our ancestors, the suffering they endured and all bad things that they did to the African slaves back then. But now, it's like we always have this, there is always tension between white people and black people. Can't find white people and black people seated in one sitting and they are just happy. There is always this tension which should be done away with. It's time that, you know what, white people, you need to wake up. I love that most of them have come to this realization that, you know what, black people are humans too, and they are just like us. The difference is just in color. We are humans, we have blood in us, like every other thing that they have, we do have. The only difference we have with the white people is just our skin color. And maybe you can talk about geography because they live in the US, we live in these other places. But we have black people in America too, the black Americans. Listening to white people coming out, realizing their mistakes, realizing that, you know what, we have been doing this community bad for the longest time, and it's time we change our ways. It's time we recognize their excellence, their abilities, their innovations. You see, black people have invented a lot of things which are used by white people, but there is no any recognition. There is no any recognition for black people's innovation. What is done on the other end is that white people take up our own innovation as if it is them who have innovated whatever it is that have been invented. And you know what? This is so bad because for them, when they do something, they let the world know about it. But if it's a black person who has done something magical, something so good, no, they take away the excellency, they take away the beauty about that thing, and they don't want to recognize that it is a black person who did this. It's time that black people's history is taught in schools. It's time that even their children, the children of these white people, know that this community is a good community. They're just like us, you see, because when the children are taught about the truth, you don't know, the problem is history has been whitewashed, whereby they don't learn about black people's history. It's just only the white people's history. And you know, for children, when they grow and they find things the way they are, that is how they take it. When they find that their parents don't love black people, when their parents tell them, you know, that is a black neighborhood, let me not find you there. That is a black person, let me not find you associated with him or her in any way. You see, that child will grow knowing that black people are bad. Also, mainstream media shows, even in the movies as we watch, black people are portrayed as thugs, criminals, drug dealers, and that's how people come up with this view about black people. They just know that black people are bad people and we should not associate ourselves with them, which is not true, because black people are good people. We are very innovative, very hardworking. You see, even in the US, I can say black Americans have built the US. They worked so hard for that nation, for their efforts to be seen as nothing, for their efforts to go down the drain. You see, it's high time they recognize that America won't be where it is right now if not for black people's efforts. Let's recognize black people's efforts in everything that we do. So I'll urge many white people and those who are still racist, those who are still supporting injustices that are happening to black people, to just stop and try being a good person. Try see black people as also humans, you see. For those white people who are jealous of black people's excellence, because we have some white people who don't love when black people are winning, they try to dim their light. They try to make sure that their excellence is not seen out to the world. Even in the video, some of the people are saying that, you see what, white people are afraid of black people's excellence. They feel inadequate when they see black people winning, and that is what makes them to have this hate and frustration towards black people. But you see what, they should look at it in this way: if these black people are winning, why can't we learn from them? Because there's a lot of things they can learn from black people. So instead of spending your energy, your time, your effort in hating on a community just because it is black and you found things that way, why not try and learn what was the cause of this and how can we unlearn? How can we unlearn white supremacy? How can we unlearn racism? How can we unlearn systemic discrimination? Because, you know, it's high time. We just need to focus on better things, focus on how to grow the nation, focus on building communities. Also, for most white people, they do not have communities, but black people do have communities. Why don't you learn from black people how to create communities which are beneficial to them, whereby one gets help in case of any help that you need, whereby you have a place to open up instead of putting all things in your heart, which makes you have this kind of hate towards another community. You can have your own community whereby you speak out. I know in the US, people are so focused on work. It is always work, work, work. And the social life is in the pits, like, because most of the time people are just thinking about working because of the cost of living. You need to work as many as 4 jobs, 3 jobs in order to keep up with the cost of living. We don't have even time for going out, having just a relaxing time, having a community whereby you go out and have fun. And this is why most people have put a lot of things in them. But when they get that chance to pour it out to someone else, pour it out to a group, and whereby you are heard and seen, trust me, they are going to change. White people will change. They will realize that, you know what, all this hate that you have been keeping inside our hearts about this black community, it's not worth it. It doesn't help in any way. So I will clap for those white people who are standing up for black people, who are standing against racism, who are standing against systemic discrimination. I love what you're doing, guys. Keep it up. Continue educating your fellow white people about these things so that we can grow as a nation, as people, as the world. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts about this, guys. I hope you've learned a thing or two from this. If you're a black person, what do you have to say about white people who speak against all oppression that black communities undergo? So let me stop from here. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. I will really appreciate. Let's meet in the next one. Bye, guys.